How much do you know about Silas from the Bible? If you're anything like me, the answer to that question is not enough. Let's fix that right now. Silas was a prominent leader in the early church and a faithful companion of the Apostle Paul. He appears in the book of Acts and in several of Paul's letters, playing an important role in spreading the gospel and strengthening new believers. Silas first comes onto the scene in Acts as a respected member of the church in Jerusalem. He was chosen, along with Judas, to deliver a letter from the apostles and elders in Jerusalem to the believers in Antioch. This letter contained the decisions made at the Jerusalem Council, clarifying that Gentile converts did not need to follow the full Mosaic law to be saved. Silas's selection for this important mission shows that he was trusted, respected, and capable of encouraging and teaching others. After delivering the letter, Silas stayed in Antioch for a time, preaching and strengthening the believers. When Paul and Barnabas had a disagreement over taking John Mark on their next journey, Barnabas traveled with John Mark, and Paul chose Silas as his new missionary partner. This decision began a fruitful partnership in ministry. Silas traveled with Paul through Syria, Cilicia, and into Macedonia, helping to establish churches and preach the gospel. In Philippi, Silas and Paul were arrested, beaten, and thrown into prison after casting a spirit out of a slave girl whose owners profited from her fortune-telling. Even in prison, they prayed and sang hymns to God, leading to a miraculous earthquake that opened up the prison doors. This event resulted in the conversion of the Philippian jailer and his household. Silas continued to accompany Paul on his missionary journeys, facing challenges and persecution alongside him. In Thessalonica, they preached despite opposition. In Berea, they encouraged believers who were eager to examine the Scripture. Silas's courage and perseverance in these situations demonstrated his deep commitment to Christ and the mission of the church. Later, Silas is mentioned in Paul's letters as a co-author or co-sender of letters to the Thessalonians, showing his ongoing involvement in encouraging and instructing young churches. He's also mentioned in 1 Peter, where Peter refers to him as a faithful brother, suggesting that Silas may have helped deliver Paul's letter as well. Silas's story is one of steadfast partnership, faithful service, and endurance under extreme pressure. He was willing to travel great distances, endure hardships, and face danger for the sake of the gospel. Though not as well known as Paul, his contributions to the early church were significant. Silas reminds us that God uses faithful, courageous servants, often working alongside others, to advance his kingdom and strengthen his people. And that's why I think it's important to ask the question,